Now, part of the grey areas within Nigeria's democratic process is the role of the legislature in budgeting. While the budget is the executive's expenditure plan for a given period, the legislature should act as a check in ensuring that the executive is responsible and transparent in allocating public funds. But how well has the legislature carried this out in the face of concerns over what is now known as constituency project? I am now being joined by TVC News' Uzona Onoye to throw more light on this. Uzona, interesting conversation, I guess it will be tonight.
Well, I hope it's going to be interesting too. Okay, but so let's go straight to it to explain, first of all, what constituency project means to an average Nigerian, or what it should be. First is the constituency project, also known as zonal intervention project, is a project nominated by predominantly legislatures, federal legislatures, as we are considering now. It can also apply in states or local government, but it's a project that are usually nominated by them. It is funded through the budget, particularly tied to budgets of certain MDAs that are connected to whatever project that is. But what we have seen over time is that some of these projects are dumped even in MDAs where they have no relationship with. We may find out more of this as we progress and understand it more. What is also worrisome is that the MDAs, in most cases, are not aware that those projects are actually existing in their budget until they get the document back to them. Now, let's look at 2025 budget. The largest part of the 2025 budget is made up of the capital expenditure, which is 23.96 trillion naira. This is the total. The total is 56.99 trillion, the total budget for the year, which capital expenditure is 23.96, followed by debt servicing 14.32, and then recurrent expenditure 13.64, while statutory transfer takes 3.65 trillion. But look at this place. This is where it gets more interesting. The total budget of 54.99 trillion. Out of this, constituency project is taking 6.93 trillion, which is 12.6% of this total budget. Remember that these projects are tied to the capital expenditure. So this is taken out of this, and 6.93 trillion is about 30% of the total capital expenditure project capital expenditure as budgeted in the 2025 budget. In the constituency project for the year that we have in the budget this year is about 11,122 projects. I said earlier, and I want to repeat before I proceed, that most of those projects are unknown, even to the MDAs, to the ministries, departments, and agencies to which the projects are attached to. We'll find out more about this. But before we proceed, there was an analysis done by Budget. We all know about Budget, where they listed out the total of projects tied to different ministries and agencies and the amount. And the breakdown is a bit staggering. However, it is important for everyone to understand that, constituency project didn't start today. So I want to go back a little bit for us to take it back from then and then come back to where we are. In 2000, former President Olusegun Obasanjo refused to sign the appropriation bill for that year because he found out that there was 2 billion naira projects inserted into the document that he was not aware of. I will state here now that, as you read in your intro, that the budget is the document of the executive, their spending plan for the year. So it is their document. And so when he found out that there was 2 billion naira inserted into it, he refused to sign it. Yes, there was an arrangement later, and then a consensus was arrived at. In 2011, President Goodluck Jonathan had a similar experience, where he found out that the government proposal was moved from 120 billion to 232 billion. He refused to sign again. That difference is usually inserted by the members of the National Assembly while they are considering the budget in projects that are unknown even to the MDAs that are supposed to have overseen those projects. Now, in 2020, President Muhammadu Buhari had similar experience in 3 different occasions. This is just the ones that we extracted to make this, to explain all of this. He had in 2020 same experience, 2021, 2022. He had similar experience all through. And remember that we are now in 2025. Now, in 2025 budget, 39% of the insertions, 39% of insertions made in the budget, covering 4,371 projects, worth 1.72 trillion naira, are all domiciled within the budget of the Ministry of Agriculture. However, the Ministry of Agriculture were not aware of those budgets, of those items, or those projects until the document came to them. Now, this may not make any meaning. It may not mean a lot until you go down to understand that those insertions moved the budget of the ministry by 12.4% from 242.5 billion to 1.95 trillion. Does it still make sense? Let's keep moving. It will make sense. Now, let's zero down to one particular example, just one example for today. There are several of them. And that is the Federal Cooperative College, Oje River. By the name, this is a school that trains people on how to run cooperative societies. Cooperative societies. This is what the school does, this school. So this is the mission. If you go to their website, this is the mission that is stated on the website of the institution. But let's see what they have in their budget this year. They have provision for 3 billion naira for utility vehicle. 3 billion naira. An average consideration is that a brand new Hiace bus will cost, I want to make it clear so that we get it very clearly, will cost 170 million. A brand new Hiace bus. Even if the school wants to buy 10 of those buses in a year, it will give us 1.7 billion. Even if they want to buy 10. But the budget provided 3 billion for utility vehicles in 1 year for a school. Now that school has 1.5 billion for rural electrification. A school have 1.5 billion for rural electrification project in Rivers State, a school located in Enugu State. The school also has 1 billion naira for solar electrification project in Enugu State, a school that trains people on how to run cooperative society. So you understand, is it making sense now? Yeah. That the National Assembly members who prepare this budget have whatever projects they have and dump it into the budget, expecting the MDAs who have those budgets to implement them. There are a few other examples that you can look at. Just a few other examples. This is Federal College of Horticulture. Several of them. Time will not permit us to dwell on them so much, so we just move on to conclusion. If you look through the entire budget and understand how those projects were planted in all of those places, now you begin to ask yourself, what is the actual duty of the legislature? Is it to make law or to execute projects? Is it to make law and carry out oversight functions or to shop for projects that they implant into the budget? My conclusion for today, is that constituency project can stir and enhance development. But what level of due diligence do we usually see carried out in picking those projects that will be executed? Number two, there are overwhelming evidence that ministries and MD and agencies know nothing about the projects until the document of the budget come to them. Number three, the legislators who have oversight responsibilities now initiate and nominate projects. Who now scrutinizes those spendings, those allocations? That should have been the job of the legislature, to sit and scrutinize whatever the ministries and agencies and departments are bringing. Now, in reverse, they are providing those things. Now, who should do the scrutiny of those projects? Number four, it is a tempting assumption that the entire constituency project arrangement, as we have in Nigeria, is wrapped in corruption. I play safe to say that it is an assumption, but it's a very tempting one until somebody proves us wrong on that. Number five, it could then be said that the legislatures are now encroaching into the duties of the executive. at the federal, state, or local government. Number 6, perhaps the end, this current assembly now has a chance to redeem itself by reversing the trend. Let the lawmakers make the law and allow the executives to do their job. This conversation will not end here. It will continue. And we hope that those people that feel that, oh, they are saying what they are saying because they do not understand how the budget works, please come and explain to us how the budget works or how budgeting works. We will be glad to learn from you. And that's it for today.
This is really brilliant, very revealing and extensive, because you have given credibility to the conversation around the issues, just that controversy around constituency budget. For those who are calling, say, look, scrap it. It really doesn't, for some people, it doesn't make sense to them, almost like a duplication of duty. And then one of the things you also said that got me thinking is that, so when we hear that the budget for the Ministry of Agriculture or Finance or whatever is this amount, we should get thinking that it might not actually be that amount, that what they are going to get is probably a fraction, of what we have heard on the news, because again, constituency projects are part of that.
And that is also part of the reason why you can never have a substantial completion of budget at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Because most of the projects that are dumped into those budgets, into the document, were not originated by the ministries or the agencies or the departments, so they do not have responsibility. It wasn't in their plan, but somewhere, somehow, somebody inserted them for whatever purpose, and I doubt if there's any other purpose apart from self-aggrandizement and corruption.
Hopefully, Nigerians get thinking about this and begin to talk about it. Thank you so much, Uzana. This was really brilliant.
My pleasure.
Thank you.